very excited to have ESPN draft analyst Jordan Reid sitting down with us at the table. The space is a little tight, JR, but you and I have been doing these interviews, I mean, from, I don't know, Mobile, just like standing on the side of football fields. Now you're wearing suits. The main page of ESPN. I mean, your blow up is well earned, deserved, and awesome to see.
Yeah, I appreciate it, man. It's a pleasure being at this event every single year. It's like the lead up to Christmas. Like we're in October. We're that kid. We haven't put up the Christmas tree yet, but we're excited to see some of those gifts eventually start to pile up under the tree. Can't open them yet. Can't open them until April.
Yeah.
But I'm excited, man. This is one of my favorite events of the year.
Well, dude, we appreciate you making time for us. Let's talk. It's Mendoza at 1, and there's no question, right?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
After that, is everything kind of wide open right now?
Yeah, it is. I mean, Arvell Reese seems to be the favorite at number 2 to the Jets, but I'm not so sure about that, honestly. It could be Ruben Bain. It could be David Bailey. There's so many different ways the Jets could go, which sets up well for Washington, just because they could get in a situation where a Caleb Downs could be on the board for them, a David Bailey, or Ruben Bain could be there, or even Arvell Reese. So I think Washington is in a really good spot to add to the defense, or if they want to take a receiver to help out Jaden Daniels, or they could even take Jeremiah Love. I think they could entertain that as well. So I think at 7, Washington is in a great spot.
Jordan, let me ask you a question. Like, you look at drafts, and I think all drafts are different. This one here, where does it seem to be, like, what position seems to be the best in this draft?
I think it's a defensive draft, honestly, BMitch. And receiver has a lot of depth, but I look at safety and corner. They have a ton of depth. I love this linebacker class, and the defensive line class is stacked too. So I think if you're looking to add some starters or some depth on defense, I think this is the draft to do it.
For Washington, what's crazy is Reese seems like the best prospect, but Bain and Bailey seem like dudes that can hit the ground running. Am I reading that right? And which way do you lean if it's like athletic tools and potential versus this guy might be able to give you 11 sacks next year?
It just depends on what you actually value, honestly. If you want somebody that can come in and be a sack artist right away, then you're looking for David Bailey. I think he can be a 12-sack-a-year guy right away, right out the gate. But if you're looking for that identity pick, is what I like to call it, I think Ruben Bain is your guy, just because he's going to bring a different type of bruising mentality as far as against the run, the power that he plays with. I don't think he's going to be a consistent 12-plus sack-a-year guy, but he can give you, I think, 8 to 10. I think he can give you that consistently. And then,
is he better against the run, too?
Yeah, without question.
He seems way more versatile, right?
Without question. He's a Brandon Graham style of player. That's what I would compare him to. But once again, if you're looking to establish an identity, Ruben Bain is going to do that for you right away, because he's going to come in. He's probably going to be one of your strongest defensive linemen. He's going to be one of your most consistent against the run. And I loved hearing Mario Cristobal talk about him, because he said our 2 pillar pieces that changed the program, and they've been with me since I've been at Miami, was Ruben Bain and Francis Maui-Noah, the offensive tackle who's in this year's class.
He's going to be a top 5 guy too, right? Or top 10?
Yep.
Is that saying he's a leader?
Oh, without question.
Okay.
I mean, he said him and Maui-Noah are our 2 biggest leaders on the roster, just because they've been through everything. BMitch, they've been through, those losing seasons. They've been through the transition years as well.
So we got our friend Jordan Reid joining us from ESPN talking about the upcoming NFL draft. So you know why there's a zillion cameras here. Things have also changed here. We're live on Monumental Sports Network in D.C. We're live on the 106.7 The Fan YouTube stream. This is going to be NBC4. This is going to be a social video, I assume. And, of course, we're live on the radio in D.C. and wherever people listen to the radio, podcasts, time travelers. There's all sorts of stuff happening. You said something interesting. I think Reese, Bailey, Bain from Washington make the most sense. Mm-hmm. And yet I follow you on social media. I read your work. You love Caleb Downs.
I do.
How do you juggle the positional value of a safety with the dude that might be the best player in the draft?
I hate hearing those 2 words, positional value, honestly, just because people think of it only from a financial standpoint. And I get it. Nobody likes taking a safety or a running back that high. But at the end of the day, what you're going to be judged by is you hit and miss on a player. I feel very comfortable about hitting on Caleb Downs. I think he's the second best player in the draft, along with Jeremiah Love. Those are the 2 best players in the draft to me, just because how I stack my board is, who do I think has Pro Bowl caliber potential right away? And I think both of those guys could be instant impact Pro Bowlers right away. And why I feel so confident about Caleb is that He went to 2 blue blood programs and was an All-American at both. He was at Alabama first as a true freshman, was an All-American, and then transitioned to Ohio State and was an All-American there.
How big
well,
is the check to get somebody to leave Bama to go to Columbus? I mean, seriously, how much money do these schools have to, hey, don't worry, we know Bama's taking care of you.
They got a ton, JP.
Unlimited funds,
They
right?
just got to share it. Open their damn pockets.
That's crazy, man. So that brings us to Love then, because I think there are some Commanders fans, and I think you can make a reasonable argument that Jaden Daniels is the most valuable asset in the Washington organization. And, yeah, your defense is broken, but drafting one dude at 7 might not fix it. If you add Jeremiah Love to Jaden Daniels, they might score 40 a game.
Yeah, I mean, it would be electric, man.
What do you think of Love, where he's going to go? Could he go to Washington at 7? What's his comp? What's his upside?
I tell you what, if they don't take him at 7, either the Saints are going to take him at 8 or Kansas City is going to take him at 9. He's not getting outside the top 10, especially if he does. Reportedly, he's supposed to run here at the Combine. I think he's going to run in the mid to high 4.3s. That wouldn't be surprising at all for him. The player that he reminds me of is James Cook out in Buffalo, but I think he's even better than James Cook, just from an explosiveness factor. It's very rare to see a running back that can be so shifty, but he doesn't have to break down defenders, if that does make sense. He can make you miss, but also he has
he can juke you at top speed.
Yeah. And, the one player, and this was many years ago, Percy Harvin was like the only other guy that I've seen been able to do that consistently as far as from a make you miss standpoint and not being able to stop while doing it. But, he reminds me a lot of James Cook, but he brings that Jahmyr Gibbs scare factor or fear factor to the table of where you can use him not only as a runner, but I think they can be really creative with him in the passing game as well. So you can put him in those advantageous situations against those linebackers or those safeties. It's not just what he brings to the table as a runner, but also you can build and design a passing game around him too. For sure.
Yeah, he seems to be more of he could be like that every down back where Cook, I think, over time, that little body ain't going to take it. You know what I'm saying?
He weighs more than Cook too.
Yeah.
So just talking about just how dynamic he is, that's why I compared him to James Cook. You've seen people comparing him to Reggie Bush.
Yeah.
There's some other comparisons
Reggie
to him
at
as well.
USC was unbelievable.
Yeah,
And
that's just the
people
type
forget
of
how good he
dynamic
was.
factor he brings to the table.
One thing that interests me is you said if Love gets by Washington at 7, he's not getting by KC or New Orleans right behind him. Could Jeremiah Love actually create the trade-up market that I think Washington kind of desperately wants?
I mean, it could happen. I just don't know if teams are going to be willing to trade up for a running back in this draft. I think this is more so of a draft you let players fall to you, just because of the lack of blue chip talent at the top. I think a dream scenario for Washington is both him and Caleb Downs are on the board, but if not, just take one of the Ohio State guys, whether it's Cardinal Tate, even Sonny Styles. I would throw him in there at 7 as well. I think he makes a ton of sense, and Arvell Reese too. So I think Washington's in a great spot at 7. I don't think there's quote-unquote, a player that doesn't fit for them at 7. I don't think there's a bad scenario for them either, just because of how the pecking order falls in this year's class.
When you go 5 and 12 and have a lot of needs,
a
lot of guys can help you.
Yep,
You know what I mean?
Without
question.
I don't know what your time is, so just keep me honest when you need to go. But who is your top receiver in this thing?
It's Cardinal Tate. Yeah, Cardinal Tate out of Ohio State. And, it's funny about him just because he wasn't highly touted coming into the year, honestly. But he filled that role that Emeka Egbuka left this past season, that number 2 role opposite of Jeremiah Smith. He took it and ran with it. And he just consistently got better and better and better each week. 6'3", 190 pounds, the player that he really reminds me of. Now, he's not as good of a prospect as him, but just stylistically, he reminds me a lot of Devontae Smith when he was coming out of Alabama. Just that slinky build, but he has what I like to call higher levels on his elevator that a lot of people can't go to. Just go and watch the Wisconsin game. He had a sick catch in the back of the end zone. Doesn't drop anything. Only had one drop, and that came in their final game against Miami in the playoffs. So he catches everything. He's a great route runner. He's silky smooth as well. So, and I think the great thing for him is that I think he's going to end up being a high-end number 2 on the next level. But the great thing for him is Terry McLaurin already there. Right. So he already has that number 1, and we've seen him in this number 2 role already, opposite of Jeremiah Smith. A year from now, we're going to be talking about him quite a bit here. So we've seen him play in that number 2 role already. So already having Terry McLaurin there to where he can settle into being that number 2 right away, I think will be perfect.
Judd, anybody that plays that nickel, that slot corner that you think can be good for this squad?
BMitch, this is an amazing nickel class. It's awesome, man.
Is it?
Yeah, it's awesome. D'Angelo Pons out of Indiana. He's one that I think is eventually going to have to transition inside. Or, I mean, if they want to slide Sam Steele inside and play him outside, I think he's capable. But I would feel more comfortable with him as a nickel. You have Keontae Scott out of Miami. If you watch the playoff, I mean, that dude was everywhere. He, similar to Bain, is one of those players that's going to bring an intensity and, physicality to the game right away. Chandler Rivers out of Duke is another name that I would keep in mind, too. So this is an awesome nickel class. It's very, very good.
Now, the guys we're talking, the top corner on the board is Delane, right? The LSU kid, probably?
Either him or Jamal McCoy out of Tennessee.
So the other fellas you're talking, are those Friday night picks? Like, do you like the depth of that nickel corner slot?
Yeah, we're going to see them guys fly off the board in the second and third round. I think Pons goes somewhere in the second round. Keontae Scott will probably go late second or early third. Rivers definitely is going to go in round 3 as well. And, if they're looking for somebody late, Jaden Kennedy out of Oregon, who will probably go in the 5th or the 6th round. He's somebody that I think could come in and start right away, too. So this is a really good nickel class.
Really excited to sit down here in Indianapolis at the Scouting Combine, talk to ESPN draft analyst Jordan Reid. Can I ask you a different one?
Sure.
Why didn't Trinidad Chambliss want to come out? Like, to me, he's QB 2 or 3. Yeah. I get Ole Miss is giving him a bag, but these NFL bags are still bigger.
Well, one, I don't think he was ready just because he only played 1 year in the SEC. You have to remember, he was at Division II.
Yeah, that's true. Fair State.
He was in Fair State. He was at Division II for quite a long time. And then, he might have just been enjoying making $5-6 million a year as a starting quarterback in the SEC. It's hard to turn away from that. But also,
my friend John Dessler owns a bar in Oxford, the library. Shout out to the library. And he says at Ole Miss, we redshirt Miss Americas. So maybe he's just enjoying himself.
And guess what? In the NFL, they got more Miss Americas.
That's true.
Be real now.
That's true.